children of the night. What music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you with it.
Coming to you live from Satan's anus. It's the final guy. I say that because I imagine his anus is super hot. And
It's actually cold.
is it cold? Is it
Yeah.
the antithesis of what's going on around him?
Very cold.
So if you're in hell, you want to be up Satan's ass.
It's the place to be. Yep.
All right, that's good. So anyway, welcome to the show. Jason's all right. Show's over. Or he wishes. Tonight.
Who's getting attacked by the dog?
Yeah. Who let the dogs out?
That is one big dog. I do not want to tell him to shut up. He will probably eat my arm. So
Is he in your house?
No, he's in the yard behind me.
Oh,
Dude, he's big.
It sounds like Cujo for real.
He is like wolfing right there. So anyway, tonight we're going to review what's the movie we're talking about? I Spit in Your Grave. No, what's the name of something in the Earth? Which little background? I picked this movie because I wanted to make in the ass jokes tonight. So why don't you all join me in the chat and help me make these jokes?
I kept searching for In the Woods when I was trying to get the link. I was like, wait, this is called In the Earth? Shit.
Into the Woods. And by the way, this is not the Belfry bathroom. This is my kitchen. I even got a poster here, so it looks a little less like something.
You really do look like you're broadcasting from the shitter.
Yeah.
All right, I may have my squatty potty down by my feet. But I'm not sitting on a toilet. So before we begin every show, we do our little drinking words. And who wants to read them tonight? Well, Tim started drinking, so he's like, I don't want to.
I'll fucking do it.
Oh, he's going to do it. Oh, God. All right.
Jack, who's not here. So, I mean, if you just hear these words, just drink anyway. Magic, Carpenter, Nod. Hunter, you got Shoe, Tent, Forest. Mane and Tail, assuming that's me. Budget, Mushroom, and Head. Mushroom Head together sounds weird.
Sounds like a lot of what you talk about off air.
Jason is Gullible, Torture, Score. And then bonus, Foot, Doctor, Kills. So you're going to get smashed tonight for sure.
Foot is a good one.
Yep.
That's
So it's Gullible. Because I'm going to be saying that a lot.
All right. So normally, now Jack's not here, which it's been a long time since we haven't had Jack here, right?
Yeah. Has he ever missed an episode?
Oh,
he has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since, yeah, it's been a while.
But since the Rona, I don't think he has. So,
Jason, have you ever missed an episode?
No, because I can't.
Yeah, he's not allowed.
No, I'm always here.
It's kind of freeing without Jack here. I feel like the cuffs are off. We can do whatever we want tonight.
Yeah, no one's holding us back.
Yeah, finally. God. So he's not here. He normally does the news. You know, he prints up that piece of paper, and that's the same piece of paper he's had since when we started the show in 2017. I don't know what's on it. I think there's pictures of dicks like super bad on the whole piece of paper. But I'm going to give an attempt at news, and I'm only going to do good news. How about that?
I like it.
Yeah, sure.
All right, here's good news. Today's Tuesday. 4th of July weekend's coming up. Friday is the premiere of the new Purge movie, The Forever Purge. Have you guys seen the coming attractions for this?
No.
I don't watch coming attractions anymore. I refuse.
See,
Oh, yeah, Tim. High five.
High five.
High five. I had to see them because I was in movie theaters watching movies. I'm like, you shut-ins. So with The Quiet Place 2 and The Conjuring, it was there. And I got to say, made my nipples a little hard seeing it.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't
Because
seen the last one. I don't even remember what it was called.
and was that the end? No, that wasn't Independence Day. That's the one on Staten Island, which was kind of cool too. Wu-Tang. But this one is, what if the purge ends?
Wait, what?
Oh, Wu-Tang. What are you talking about?
Okay, sorry.
Staten
continue.
Island?
It was just random. I was
That's not random, by the way.
the last thing to come out of your mouth was like you throwing out a Wu-Tang.
If you're a New Yorker and you say Staten Island, you say Wu-Tang.
Okay, I didn't know that. I'm not from New York.
Or you go to the mob side and you go, hey, queso deep. So you like a stud leg? You want a cannoli? But this one is about what if they say the purge ends and the people of purging just go, nah, fuck it. Nah, it doesn't. We're just going to keep going. So that's the idea of this. So it looked really cool.
When's that come out?
Friday.
Oh.
Just in time for Independence Day, which is kind of like where they try to time these movies.
That could be interesting. I just realized I didn't turn my air conditioner off before we started, so I'm sure that sounds lovely.
I didn't hear a thing.
Hope everyone enjoyed that.
It's a great ambient noise that I'm enjoying greatly.
Usually covers your muffled farts. Here's something Jason will love. Actually, we'll all love this. Joe Bob's Last Drive-In has been renewed for a 4th season.
Yes.
Boom.
I'm really surprised you weren't wearing a Joe Bob shirt today.
I don't know what I was thinking.
To celebrate.
That makes me very excited. I'm assuming at this point they know that a ton of people have signed up just for the Last Drive-In, and if they cancel it, their subscriber count's gonna go to shit.
Oh yeah, really.
I mean, out of our group on Fridays who watches it together, at least half only have it because of Joe Bob. So
yeah, there's quite a few who don't watch those movies at all, and unless we're doing it together.
It is about 75% of my subscription. I do love the original content that they put, but I would still honestly subscribe even if they didn't have it, but it is just a huge part of Shudder. I don't think they can get rid of it.
No.
Yeah, I think that would be bad.
Yeah.
I got to admit though, I wasn't crazy with this year's season's movies.
What?
There were some real super clunkers in there. I don't know.
Oh man. What was
B-sides?
God, what was the one that was just brutal? The black and white. What the hell was that?
The Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, that was a rough one.
I loved watching that. That was really interesting. I had never seen it before. I've seen obviously the Rick Moranis one, but I thought that was cool to watch. I don't know. I like stuff like that.
It was like showing a 12-year-old a black and white movie. The way Jason initially reacted, he set.
It's not a Joe Bob movie. God damn. Now, right after that was Humanoids from the Deep.
Right.
That's a great Joe Bob movie.
That's a perfect Joe Bob movie.
So good.
So, I do admit, but see, that was my issue with this last season. There were some movies I'm like, I don't even know why this is here. Why do we have to do so much reading?
I do like the guests though. I mean, the guests were awesome this year.
Yeah, he did kill it with the guests.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to them being back in studio next season.
At this point, I bet there were people lining up and asking him to be on, as opposed to vice versa. When he
totally. Started.
This season was the Love Witch too, right?
No,
I think that was the season before,
or the first season.
No, because she wasn't there. They did the head interview thing on the TV. So it was either last season or I don't know.
That's a rough movie to watch.
Did not watch that episode.
Yeah, that movie sucks. I mean, it's got a pretty girl. There you go. All right, here's one. If you've got stock in Disney, you're going to be waiting for this movie. Scarlett Johansson is going to star in a movie based on the Tower of Terror.
Oh.
That's found at Hollywood Studios.
I like that.
Okay.
I just read really good reviews for her movie that's coming out on Friday. Where she's Black Widow. That's what she is. I forget. So much so that I'm actually tempted to watch it because it said it's not a Marvel movie. It's really a James Bond movie, but with a woman.
It's a prequel. So you know which Marvel movie I'm not going to see?
Yeah, you're done. Yeah, but make sure you catch another Spider-Man.
This might be the first Marvel movie I haven't seen in the theater since they started these over 10 years ago. I don't even know.
It really looks awesome, though.
It kind of does.
I know what's going to happen. So,
But do you, though?
Do you
really?
I know how it ends.
Do you really?
By the way, thank you, Chad, for agreeing with me about Love Witch. And Jabba Caroni, the vanilla faces are here. Although my face is going to get very red as I struggle to breathe in this freaking kitchen. I'm going to get other stuff in the future. I don't know. I mean, this old poster is kind of sad.
Dude, it just looks like you're taking a shit.
Yeah, it still does.
Every now and then I'm just going to have to stop and look really pensive and squeeze. All right. So do you guys want to see a movie based on a ride?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Pirates of the Caribbean was a stupid idea, and I loved that first movie.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
What about Haunted Mansion?
I liked Haunted Mansion, the one with
watch it.
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. It's good. That's an awesome ride, by the way.
Yes, it is.
It's so cool.
So Tower of Terror is an awesome ride.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think. Look, I mean, you could have good writers on it, and it could be amazing.
Yeah, it would be cool if you could watch the movie while you're in the ride.
That would be cool.
I will tell you,
constantly dropping you.
If you've never done that ride, your balls will literally hit the top of your skull at one point. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm psyched.
Disney World? Is that where that is?
It's not Disney World. It's Hollywood Studios.
Mm-hmm.
Never been there. I've never been to any of them.
If you stay at the Swan and Dolphin, I think you just get on the little boat ride and it takes you right there, if I remember correctly. It's between that and Epcot.
All right.
For those who are into Disney, I am not. I used to go there for business. So, as Jack would say, that's all the news that fits the print.
Are we ready to go?
As Jack would say,
we have such sights to show you.
Perfect, by the way.
The good thing is, if I laugh so hard, I feel like I'm going to pee. I guess I'm in the right place.
Just keep sitting down.
Yeah. So, this is the part of the show where we talk about movies we watched, maybe some books we read, maybe a movie that Jason played. Not a movie, a game. You don't play games very often anymore. I don't hear you give much gaming advice.
I usually just play the same ones I talked about before.
I mean, truth is, nobody wants to hear game advice from an old middle-aged fuck. So I understand why it's not a big thing on the show.
Damn. Shots fired.
Have I ever told you how much I hate you?
What happens when Jack isn't here? He's not here to keep the peace.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's Jack's job.
Get this whiskey down my throat. Let's get going. So since Tim's drinking, I'm gonna go with you first, Jason. Is there a series you guys were starting together, or you're waiting?
I didn't get that memo.
The next series together, Tim. You wanted to do it, and I don't remember what it was.
I feel like we talked about it, but
you did. I forget what it was too.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I watched Damien, Omen 2.
Oh.
I had never actually seen this before, so it was kind of cool to check it out. It is a pretty decent sequel to a great movie. Like I like this much more than I thought I would. It takes place, I don't know, 12, 13 years after the original, where Damien is now in a military school and he's learning who he is as these weird things are happening around him. He's got chicks hanging off him.
Oh, that picture is just weird.
But the boy they cast to play him as an early teen has such a creepy intensity about him in this role that it is perfect. It was so good that I was watching it and my wife walked in and just like, what's the deal with the kid? It's like, yeah, it's good casting, right? Wow. So it's basically just him learning who he is, and people are trying to kill him, people from the church, or I think there's a sort of reporter. They're figuring out who he is and they're trying to take him out. And honestly, I think what brought this down a little bit was there's too much supernatural stuff going on. He's just like making people's brains explode in their heads and like.
Well, if you were the devil's son, couldn't you do whatever you wanted?
It's just what I think made the Omen work so well is he's looking at animals and they start doing weird shit. People do weird things in his presence without him even necessarily knowing what he's doing. So I really love that about the Omen. And then this one is just, it's a big jump.
Well, you can almost equate it to like the uncontrolled hormones of a child that age. Just like he can't control his burgeoning powers.
Maybe what they were going for. But it's good stuff. It's just not necessarily great stuff, but it was really worth a watch. I enjoyed it a lot. So,
I haven't seen it in a long time.
If you're going back to watch an Omen movie, you watch the first one. Unless you're going through the series like I am, I don't know that you want to revisit this all that often.
And when you were going through the pictures, Mike Brady from the Brady Bunch isn't in it, is he? There was a guy who looked just like him.
I already closed that window, but I'll bring
With
it back
the
up.
curly hair. I was like, oh, is that Mike Brady? That'd be kind of cool. The father from the Brady Bunch and the Omen too.
What's his name?
This is where we need Jack. He's the resident Brady Bunch expert. Damn it! The one time we needed his arcane knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, I could look at his name and not know who I'm looking at.
Yeah, I'll look it up while Tim talks because I'm not going to listen to the fucking thing.
Yeah, you're not going to want to.
I did want to say I forgot. Lance Henriksen is in this. A young Lance Henriksen. Yeah, wow. He showed up. He's I don't know, the head of the military academy he's at, and I was looking at him like, holy shit, man, he is young here. So it was good to see.
Before he became bishop.
Yes, exactly.
Pre-Bishop Lance. All right, Tim. While I go look to see if Mike Brady was in this thing.
All right.
Chuck Taylor was in it.
So I was in a mood last week to watch a found footage film, but also a werewolf film. And I didn't know, like, I searched werewolf found footage films and I didn't get a whole lot of results. But what I did get was this movie called Where, W-E-R.
I've seen this.
You've seen it? Okay. Yep. Not technically, I wouldn't classify it as a found footage film. I don't know if you would. Like, it's kind of shot that way, but there's like parts of it that are found footage, like the trailer showing all found footage stuff.
Yeah, but every time I show the trailer, we get yanked off YouTube.
Oh, well, we don't want to do that.
Not good.
So yeah, I mean, it's basically about an attorney who has to defend this guy who's killed or supposedly killed a vacationing family in France, and he may or may not be a werewolf.
Is that Gordon Ramsay?
No, but it looks like Gordon Ramsay.
Put it down! You'll kill someone!
But yeah, this movie is kind of weird. I ended up enjoying it a lot. That guy who's in Westworld, he plays the writer on Westworld. Yeah. He's actually a really good actor, and he had a really good role in this. This movie's not bad. I mean, I watched it on Tubi, so I didn't pay anything for it. Yeah. But it was definitely worth a watch. I will say the effects, like the gore in this movie, is like outrageous and awesome. And like that guy who plays the werewolf also does a really good job. I thought the acting was really good. I mean, the only negatives I could say about it is like the story was just kind of like a little bit all over the place, but it had like no structure whatsoever. But yeah, the effects were good. I like that. And again, I wouldn't really classify it as a true found footage film. The only found footage in the movie is actually from the family that gets attacked. And then like it's shot to make it kind of look found footagey. Like there's like a documentary team like following them around and kind of documenting the whole thing. But it's not like true found footage where it's not like Wreck or like Cloverfield type of found footage.
What is like Wreck?
Yeah, nothing's like Wreck. That movie is amazing, by the way. If you've never
highly
seen
recommended.
Mm-hmm.
I'm channeling Jack while he's not here. I'm doing my best.
Here come the dad jokes.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's on Tubi. If you're looking for like kind of a unique werewolf movie that has some cool effects and like off the chain gore, it's definitely worth checking out for that.
I remember thinking it was pretty cool, but in looking at those images, I clearly don't remember a whole lot of the movie. I remember the barn stuff.
Yeah. It's not, I don't think it's going to leave like a lasting impression. Like my next movie is going to leave a very lasting impression on me. But this one's, like I said, it's free on Tubi. Not a terrible werewolf movie. I don't think there's a whole lot of great werewolf movies. It's like hard to really do like a great werewolf movie.
I don't know why it's so hard.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
There are always mysteries. Who's the werewolf? As people are being killed. That's what they all are.
And that's what was cool about this. It was like there was no mystery. It was like this guy's a fucking werewolf. Like,
there we go.
He killed
American Werewolf in London.
Like they kind of try to make it seem like, oh, did he really kill his family? Is he really a werewolf? But like he's a werewolf, and like it's kind of like you see how his werewolf abilities like come to light and how he deals with it, and like how the people in his path are just kind of like subjected to it. I don't know. It's a neat movie. Like I said, It's free. You're only wasting about an hour and 38 minutes of your time if you don't like it. So check it out.
Yeah.
Nice. I need to watch that again.
I'm going to piggyback on the Tubi because I was trolling through Tubi and I was like, you know what? I have not seen Death Proof since I saw it in the theater when it came out. And at the time, I was like, oh, I love Planet Terror more. Death Proof, I was like, I could.
I like Death Proof way more.
Really? I have, because I've seen the other one several times since. I haven't watched this. Now I watched this again years later. Damn, I love this one. Now I realize I can't compare because, first of all, it's got Kurt Russell. I mean, that alone elevates it as Stuntman Dave. I think that was
Stuntman Mike.
Mike,
Stuntman
sorry.
Mike.
I love how this is. It's the first half. It's two movies, right? So the first half is one set of girls. Oh, that girl's got some set of legs. Hanging out at this bar over there in Austin, Texas. They show the Alamo Theater there, by the way. Drinking, having a good time, and then Stuntman Mike, he agrees to drive what's her face home. The girl from Charmed, and things go crazy. Then you cut to 6 months later, and he finds another carload of girls who look very much like the carload of girls he targeted the first time around, except he has bitten off more than he can chew because two of them are stunt people, and they
Zoe Bell, baby.
Zoe Bell was amazing. So you get an hour of talky Tarantino talk. Like, if you didn't know it was a Tarantino movie, the minute they open their mouths, like, oh yeah, that's Tarantino talking. And then the second half, the stunts that Zoe Bell does are crazy. I had forgotten how crazy it is.
Your Tarantino feet. Yeah.
Dude, there is so much foot shit in this movie. God almighty.
No, you're totally right. Zoe Bell on top of the car at the end of this movie is just unbelievable.
It was, and I knew how this movie ends, and I was so tense. I was like, my jaw hurt because I didn't realize I was clenching my jaw so much. But it's like, she's actually doing this stuff. This isn't CGI. This isn't stuff in some sound studio. She's a stunt woman doing incredible car stunts. And man, if you think Planet Terror is your movie, I watch them both and see if it changes over time, because it changed. The switch flipped huge for me. So I was glad I went back.
Yeah, I love this movie. I think of all Tarantino's movies, people consider it the lowest, which isn't saying much because they're all freaking good.
Well,
but I love this primarily because Zoe Bell is really on that car, and they're going 70 to 90 miles an hour in different shots with her on the front of that car. It is just crazy what he did and how she did it. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. By Chad, greatest icy hot ad ever. Yeah. Because Stuntman Mike had that on the back of his jacket. And here's a crazy thing. Like, my wife loves this movie, but she hadn't seen it in 10 years. And just at random, she goes, oh yeah, that's when Rosario Dawson gets an issue of Italian Vogue from under the counter. I'm like, how is that the thing you remember?
What the hell?
That's so weird.
I know. And also, it had Rosario Dawson, she's in my top 5 of all time.
She's great.
She's a pretty lady.
She sure is. So, Death Proof, check it out. Bring the kids.
Maybe don't bring the kids to the fuck was it? Final Conflict. I kept looking for Omen 3. So in the third Omen film, they bring in Sam Neill to play the adult Damien, who is now the head of the world's biggest corporation. He's basically playing Jeff Bezos in this.
Right.
I mean, he's controlling food supply, all these chemicals, just producing everything that the world needs, basically. He knows exactly who he is. He knows exactly what he's doing. But what I actually liked about this is, for the first 3/4 of so, he just seems like a guy who just happened to be born and is going to be the Antichrist. He doesn't seem like a piece of shit. It doesn't seem like he's trying to do bad things.
Right.
So I kind of like that, but he definitely deteriorates some as the movie goes and becomes more of an asshole, particularly at the end. When he just starts ordering his people to massacre any child born on the Sunday morning because one of them is supposed to be Christ returning. So
is he wearing an ascot there?
maybe
That had to be when he was a dick. Like, you can't wear an ascot and not be a dick.
there's a good 10 or 15 minutes in this where babies are just being killed, like newborn babies. It is shocking when it happens. But you get another continuation of these priests or whoever the hell they are trying to all stab him. Apparently they can only kill him with this special dagger.
Of course.
So you have these dudes just running around trying to stab, Jeff Bezos with this special ceremonial dagger, which they always manage to find more of at the beginning of each one of these movies. But it's pretty good. It's a pretty good movie, just like the last one. It's not an all-time classic by any means, but it's a solid movie, and it surprised me, and I'm shocked I actually have waited this long to watch it.
I haven't seen it since it was in the theater. It's like 85, maybe?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Like I said, it's not great, but I was reading some of the early reviews, and people shit on this movie when it came out, but it seems like it's gained a little more traction over the years, and people kind of appreciate it more.
It came out in the 80s. We were over the devil stuff. Like, it came out in the wrong decade. If it was late 70s, probably could have gotten some traction, but we were all into slashers and titties.
Yeah, I think
It was
so.
very different in the 80s.
Yeah, definitely not much of that going on in this. It's just these guys trying to kill him are complete idiots. They know he can control animals, so one of them tries to stab him in the middle of a fox hunt when he's surrounded by like 40 dogs. I'm like, dude, how is this going to work in your favor?
Is this the way they tried to kill Dick Cheney on a hunting accident? Is Cheney the devil? Holy crap! I think we just figured something out.
Wow, very
He's
nice.
still alive. Doesn't he have a fake heart and all kinds of problems? He's still going. It's 2021. Cheney still walks the earth.
I know nothing about Dick Cheney.
By the way, you mentioned Bezos. You see that petition for him to stay in space once he goes up?
No,
It's hundreds of thousands of signatures for him to never come back from space.
that's hilarious.
I love this world.
So I still have 2 more movies to go, but I will say so far, cumulative of the 3, this is one of the better series. I'd have to go back and look, but there isn't the massive drop off from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 that a lot of these have had. So
There's 2 more Omen movies? I thought
there's
there
a 4th one, which I didn't even know existed until Jack told me. And then they remade it in 2006.
Oh, you're going to bring that into the mix?
Yep.
You are.
Yeah, man.
pleased.
So
Why
I'll
not?
finish it next week. But so far, so
Well,
good.
He didn't
Not
watch
too
all the Amityville movies, so I figured that's still waiting. Amityville, the B-sides, is still something waiting for you,
I don't even remember how far I got into that.
and
It was
it's growing. It never stops growing.
13, 16. No,
It's like algae.
it's the worst.
All right, Tim, what's the movie that made such a big impression on you?
Well, first I want to talk about my beer real quick. Can I do that? Can I?
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys got to try this. It is a hazy IPA with
Goose Island. Yeah.
with mango and cinnamon.
That's
Okay.
interesting.
It is
8.3% alcohol.
no, it's 6.3.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
I know it's a little low for you. I know,
I know.
but it's delicious and it's weird, which is
It looks good in the glass. I
it
must
does
say.
look pretty good. It's got a nice little orangey flavor.
No beer
Nice
in the
color.
house.
All right, so this movie definitely left an impression on me. And when I was watching it, I was like, I don't really know if I like this movie. But after it was over, and the more I think about it, I really enjoyed this movie. It's called The Sound of Violence. It just came out, I think, like a month ago. Yeah, it came out in May, at the end of May, and it's basically about this girl who grows up and her family is brutally murdered right in front of her. She's deaf, but once she witnesses this murder, and it happens in the opening scene, I'm not spoiling anything for you. She gets her hearing back, which is weird. Like the sound of the murder causes her to regain her hearing. Which is an
If I could
interesting
get my hearing back, feel free to murder someone around me.
which is an interesting concept in and of itself. But it goes further than that. When she's an adult, she's in college and she's doing like these college courses. She realizes that that when she hears somebody being tortured or hears somebody being hurt, that something happens to her hearing, and like she almost has like this just like she experiences like this moment of absolute bliss, like this euphoric feeling comes over her, and it's like indescribable, and it's almost like orgasmic for her. Ooh. And so she takes to that and starts killing people, but I almost don't want to say, because it's like it starts off as like a normal movie, and then the end of the first act happens, and it's so crazy that I was like, oh shit, so this is the direction this movie is going. I did not see that coming. And I'm not going to say like how she starts killing people, but it is so unique and so original. And some people aren't going to like it because it might be a little bit ridiculous, but it works for the movie.
All right. Like, I'm in for this,
dude. It is crazy. It's like, and it has like a very slasher feel. And one of the things I wanted to touch on, because I hear the serial killer term and slasher term like separately, and I don't know how you guys feel about that. Do you guys think those movies kind of go hand in hand? Like, is that term universal, or is there like a distinction between like?
I have a hard line. Slasher is just random killer. Serial killer is someone who plots and plans.
Oh, okay.
And is human.
That's interesting.
Doesn't have to be.
So this would because I've been hearing this labeled as like a slasher film, and it has like that vibe. It has like a very 80s slasher vibe to it, but more like portrait of a Henry portrait of a serial killer rather than something like ridiculous. But from your explanation, it sounds more of like a serial killer because it's more plotted.
Yeah, it doesn't sound slasher to me.
But it has like that vibe, and when you see it, I think you'll kind of understand what I'm going with, because I think it could kind of fall under both, even with that. Like, I don't know, it's just it's such a unique movie. And I'm not mad. I think it was like, I don't know what the rental was. It might have been like $5.99 or $6.99, but it was just so unique, and I'm so glad that I pulled the trigger on it. And like I said, when I was watching it, I was like, I don't know if I like this. This is. I can't tell if it's good or not, but like after the movie's over and it like sinks in, like 2 days later, I was still thinking about it, and I thought it was really unique and really fun. So
you're not selling me on it if you watched it and you're like, nah,
dude, it's so.
In the end, I think maybe we can get on this now, Jason.
It's so bizarre. Like, it's just I think the reason why I wasn't like connected with it, because the first act is kind of like. It doesn't match the rest of the movie. Once the thing happens at the end of the first act and it like sets the tone for the rest of the movie, like it changes things. And I think like I was still kind of stuck in that first act where things like were kind of moving a little bit slowly. And like you could tell it also was like super low budget. But I don't know. The rest of it is so unique and so interesting that I ended up really enjoying it. And I definitely want to watch this movie again and just see if I have a even more appreciation for it. The main actress in it, awesome job. She was in one of my favorite television shows of all time, The Leftovers. That was on HBO.
Mm-hmm. I never watched that.
Dude, oh, so good. But she's great.
That's why. See, now, Jason, here's where the interest wanes, because in the end he really liked it. So this is maybe give it a pass.
I would honestly,
like, if he's stuck with I don't know if I like this movie or not, then all right, maybe.
If we're stuck for a main feature in like a week or two, I would recommend this, because I think it's a movie that we can definitely talk about, and it's so entertaining that we will have a lot to discuss.
All right.
Yeah. I was gonna watch it this week, but I just ended up not having time.
I would love to know what you guys think about it also.
All right, maybe this week, we'll see.
It's on Prime, right?
It's just a rental. It's on VOD. Yeah, it's on VOD. I think you can rent it pretty much anywhere.
Cool. All right. So what I watched was not a movie. I was listening to this UFO podcast, UFO Warning. It's, from what I can tell, it's some dude like just somewhere, maybe in a barn, ranting about fucking UFOs and conspiracy theories and stuff. And his earnestness is amazing. I can't stop listening to this guy. And the way he mispronounces things is just, it's bliss. It's pure bliss.
Shut up.
So he just hit 1 million downloads on his podcast. I'm like,
wow,
mother effer. So he started talking about Bigfoot and how he stumbled upon Survivor Man's series that he did on Bigfoot on YouTube. So I was like, after I was done with that podcast, I'm like, I got a half an hour to kill before work. Let me put that on. Well, I was late for work because I couldn't stop watching. It's 9 episodes. And I like the fact that Les Stroud, who's the Survivor Man, we all know him from cable TV. He's a survival dude. And he had an experience up in Canada where he heard and felt something that did not belong, that made him go, I wonder if these Bigfoot things are real, but what are they? So he kind of goes in not as a believer. And, first couple episodes, he brings like Todd Standing in, he's got film of Bigfoot's, like really clear film of them, like watching him from the woods. I don't know if you can YouTube him and you can check him out.
All right.
This guy is either, and he said, Les says it, he goes, he's either a complete fucking liar or he's telling the truth. It's one or the other. So he's going out to all these different places. He went to Bluff Creek, where Patterson Gimlin sighting was, and he's just going from really bouncing between the U.S. and Canada at these various different spots and just trying to find something. And through 9 episodes, he has a couple of things that are kind of weird, a couple of sounds, things that happen, but nothing definitive. But the cool thing is just his approach to it. He's not going in it like Matt Moneymaker and Bobo out there trying to capture Bigfoot, and every 5 minutes something's happening. To me, as a city guy, what was the most terrifying parts was just him putting himself in these weird areas, and he's totally alone. And I'm like, that would scare the living shit out of me. And there were times where things were even happening around him. He was like, if that happens one more time, I'm actually running out of here.
Wow.
Because to do it, like he would, like when you're out there and you're doing your thing in the wild, like there were certain areas where you go where you think you want like the high ground, you don't want to be vulnerable, and he's putting himself in vulnerable spots, but not necessarily, I'm thinking for a Bigfoot, but for like, a bear, some kind of wild cat or something like that, and he's just out there. So if it was for 9 episodes, man, it had me totally hooked. And for people who are casual Bigfoot or don't even believe in that shit, watch it for the Survivor Man stuff, because that part is really cool too. And my favorite episode was when he went out with this Native American dude who has had sightings, and he's like the last shaman of his tribe, and the shit that they went through just to survive was worth it right there. It kind of had like a little spiritual message at the end, which was cool. So it's all on YouTube, Survivor Man, Bigfoot. If you like squatchy stuff like I do.
I thought he was on Discovery or something. He just uploads to YouTube?
I don't know why these all just popped up on there now, but I said, if it's free, although I have Discovery Plus, I'm sure it's on there too. Damn it, I should have watched it on there. But whatever, it was all good. Because I was watching it everywhere. I was watching it at home, at work, in the car.
I've never actually watched Survivor Man.
I like him better than Bear. That guy Bear.
Never watched him either.
Who was he? Man versus Wild, I guess, or whatever. So I always preferred Survivor Man.
All right.
But I kept thinking about that movie, Man Versus.
Oh, yeah, exactly. The movie that if it had an ending would have been so good.
If it had more than 7 cents to make CGI. So it's the opposite of Man Versus.
So he just heard some weird stuff out there, but nothing.
Just like, weird stuff, kind of stuff caught on cameras, but nothing like definitive. But there's one night where there is screaming in the woods that would literally, I would shit myself. They'd be like, oh, there's hunter scat. Look at that huge pile of hunter scat. He did get footprints all over the place, though. He was getting those.
I never saw a Bigfoot in my time in the mountains, but I did see some weird people driving home from at 2:00 in the morning. I was taking the back roads, like out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm going past this cornfields on either side of the road, and just maybe 30 yards off the side of the road. Now it's just my headlights. There aren't any lights out there or anything. It's
right
in the middle of nowhere. I see, I don't remember how many guys it was, a group of guys, 3, 4, 5, something like that, just in robes, standing in a semicircle, looking down at a pile of something on the ground.
Oh,
in the middle
Christ.
of the cornfield. I slowed down because I couldn't see what it was at first, and then I saw it was a bunch of dudes, and I was like, nope. I left. Gone.
Man, I wouldn't have even slowed down. Like, oh no, fuckers in robes.
I sat there in bed for a while that night. Like, what the hell did I drive into there?
Now, I would imagine if you had long hair as a youth, if people saw you walking around, they might be like, oh, that's a Squatch right there. Look at that big fucker.
Dude, I'm not that tall.
You could be an adolescent Squatch.
There you go. Yeah,
They're not
I'm a
as
teen.
tall. That's right. Teen Squatch.
Oh, Jesus.
All right,
So now my story time is over. I have well, you know what? I wanted to mention this too. I watched Bubba Hotep for the first time in 15 years, probably.
Love that movie.
It's so good. I fucking love this movie. I don't know why it's not a part of my regular rotation, because it should be. You have Bruce Campbell playing an old Elvis stuck in a nursing home with a old black guy who thinks he's JFK.
Ossie Davis.
And the two of them are hunting down an ass-sucking mummy who pulls your soul out of whatever orifice it can get a hold of. And sometimes that happens to be your ass. It is a ridiculous movie that is as ridiculous as it sounds, but it has this it has this heart in it that is surprising considering how over the top everything is. It's just so good. Bruce Campbell crushes this. Ossie Davis crushes this. Who else? Somebody else appears. Reggie Bannister has an appearance in it. This is prime Don Coscarelli here.
It's a Joe Lansdale story. Like only he can pull that off.
Which I haven't read. Have you guys read it?
Yeah,
I haven't read the story.
It's as good as everything he does.
You know, I was reminded when this came out that they had built a ton of hype for it because of the cast involved and Don Coscarelli writing, and they just took it around to I think shows. Like I don't know if they were doing one-man theaters or if it was just I don't know if they were doing conventions or festivals or something. But I remember the movie didn't come out for a long time, so people were just like frothing at the mouth waiting to get their hands on it. When it came out, it just did not disappoint.
No. Oh my God. When we saw that, we were like over the moon with that one. We got it from the video store on VHS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got this on a DVD right away, and I loved it. I don't know why I don't go back to it that often because it's great.
It is.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, from good stuff to Tim stuff.
Oh, so I was in the mood to watch some new stuff because I remember last week we were talking about movies in 2021 and there hasn't been that many horror movies coming out. Yeah. So one of the ones that's showing up on a lot of so far the best of 2021 is The Unholy, starring Jeffrey Dean Morgan, which. I was watching this movie and I was like, this sounds like really familiar. And I was surprised to find out it's actually based on a James Herbert novel.
Really?
Yeah, The Shrine.
Huh.
And I was like, yeah, it was crazy. I was like, wow, James Herbert. I mean,
can you say the director's name, by the way?
No, I can't.
Like we're not even going to try.
But yeah, so Jeffrey Dean Morgan plays a disgraced journalist, and he's been doing these kind of online newspaper article thingies, and he's only making $100 an article. Anyway, he's broke. He needs money. He goes out to this small town to investigate some cattle mutilations, which end up not being cattle mutilations at all, and it ends up being a hoax. But he stumbles upon a structure that he finds this doll in, and he ends up breaking the doll and unleashing this force that enters a little girl, and the force goes by the name of Mary, and the Virgin Mary. And the girl starts performing all these kinds of miracles, and it becomes this big attraction. And so he has the inside scoop on it. And Yeah, basically that's the story. And is Mary the actual Mary, or is it something else? We don't know. But we kind of do know, because if you read the description of the movie, then you'll know that it's probably not the real Mary. It's something else. And it makes for like a cool setup for a movie. The movie itself, I thought was okay. It wasn't terrible. I thought they could have done some things better, especially storytelling wise. But the actors are great in it. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is, phenomenal as always. Carrie Elways is in it. He plays like a bishop, and
Hunter's favorite.
He has like this thick Boston accent that he does in this. It's so funny. But he does a great job. William Sadler's in it. He plays like the girl who's performing the miracles uncle, and also he's a priest. And I thought he did a great job in it too. And yeah, I mean, this movie's I think average. I don't know if it'll end up on my top 13, but it was worth a watch. And
when the theaters first opened around here, that was one of the first movies.
Oh yeah.
And I said to my daughter, I said, "You want to go see that movie?" And she goes, "That looks terrible, Dad." I was like, "All right." We haven't gone to a movie in a year, but fine.
I will say some of the CGI isn't good, but I also give this movie a lot of credit, because this was a movie that they started shooting and then COVID hit, and so like I think they rushed, or they couldn't, because of scheduling and everything. Like they couldn't really finish the movie, so they had to do like the best they could to finish this.
That's rough.
Because you could see some shots of like Jeffrey Dean Morgan were just like they were on a green screen and like super close up, like extreme close up, like on his face. Like you could tell like it was just kind of like just shoved into the movie. Like there's like weird stuff like that happens that like the normal person probably wouldn't recognize, but when you've been watching 1,000 movies a week, then you kind of pick up on it.
Let's blame COVID for everything.
No, but seriously, I mean, it's
10 years from now, I didn't get my homework done because that whole COVID thing in 2020, I couldn't get it done.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I'd give it probably like a C if I had to grade it. But
there you go. If you had to put it in a cup.
If I had to, yeah, sure. But I don't know. I really like Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and I think like that dude needs to be in more stuff. Like, he loves horror. Like, he's like a horror guy. So like, give him more work. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe he'll get one. Maybe he'll be in the sequel.
I felt bad for him because when he came into The Walking Dead is when everybody was like, "Oh my God, what's going on? Negan's here," and then it just was terrible.
Goodbye.
Yeah, it's like, damn, he got this awesome role and he killed it. But the show just fell off a cliff.
Yeah, I was always hoping because I was like a big fan of Supernatural when that first came out. I was always hoping they would do like a spin-off of that with him in it, just like as the main character, like Jason, a prequel with him in it. Like that would be sick. That would be amazing. Please do that.
No,
CW, get at me. I will write you a whole pitch right now.
There you go. CW, aim higher. Come on. All right. Am I the last one?
I have one more.
All right. I'm going to talk about a book. When I went to the Mahoning, whenever I go to the Mahoning Theater in Pennsylvania, there is a used bookstore, not far, like 15 miles from there. I always stop in there, and it's just piles of paperbacks. And I just load up a bag and go.
Nice.
So I'm starting to work my way through them. And this book that I picked up is Crib by Harold Lee Friedman. And it's got a cool cover of like a cloaked figure holding a baby. It's from 80. And it's one of those cool ones when you open the cover and there's like a second cover behind it. Ooh, but they didn't have the cutout or anything. This book starts out amazing because it's this model and her husband, and she has this baby that she's doting on. And you have to read this book knowing when it's written. So there's a lot of like misogynistic shit and like, I don't know, kind of like the attitude is about women having babies and not being able to work and stuff. And she's worried about her body being ruined and stuff. But at one point the baby dies. 6 months old and dies in its sleep. And it becomes this whole thing about SIDS and crib death and stuff, which I don't think a lot of people, it was really that widespread back then, at least the knowledge of it. And it's this devastation that this woman's gone through with this baby. But then she starts to realize she thinks this baby didn't just die of SIDS. It's because it was too old. He was too old to die of SIDS, and it should have happened another way. And there's something weird going on that night. And so she's trying to get to the bottom of why her baby died. Is this all in her head? Is this grief making her think this? And she gets the cop who's investigating with her on board. Let me tell you, the third act of this book is so fucking stupid. Like the beginning, like it really hits you and it like gets you emotionally. In the middle part, you go, man, where is this going? And then it goes to a place I'm like, what are we talking about here? And she's partnering with the cop, and this cop and his boss are letting her come along on some very intense stakeouts and just chasing bad guys. There is no police procedure followed here whatsoever. It's the most disregard for police procedure you're ever going to see in any piece of fiction in your lifetime. And the reason the baby died is so fucking crazy. I was like, oh my God. So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars because it was a good half a book. And then the last half got so dumb, but it's well written. But I think this guy only wrote 2 books.
Oh, wow.
I can kind of understand why, because where he went, maybe we shouldn't talk about this kind of stuff. Maybe you don't print this, but it was 1980, so they did it anyway.
What book was this again? I missed the Crib.
Not The Crib, just Crib by Harold Lee Friedman. That's the perfect name for a serial killer right there. Yeah, he was killed by Harold Lee Friedman. Killed 27 women.
This sounds like the setup for the Stephen King story Boogeyman, where the guy goes to the shrink and he's having, like, his baby died from, or more than one, I think, died from SIDS. And
that's like one of my favorite King short stories. Too.
It's really good.
The ending is awesome.
It sounds like the same setup.
Yeah, but not the same ending.
Like, kind of make me want to read this now if it's that crazy.
Dude, I'll send it to you. You want it? It's all
No,
yours.
Not really. I don't take paper books from you, dude. I know where those have been.
God, I don't know where that book had been. It's been kicking around quite a long time.
It's been in his kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
My kitchen. You know what the strange thing is? I'm here in the kitchen. I have to pee so bad right now. Like I normally don't have to pee this bad.
I need beer, so I think that's like a good segue.
I feel like I'm dehydrated because I've been sweating.
I guess I can introduce the.
No, I'm gonna power through. I'm gonna see how far I can get this.
I'm not gonna power through. I need beer, and I need it now.
All right,
All
go.
right. Well, I got one more thing.
He does never waste time with that.
He doesn't. He does not wait for beer.
It shuts the camera. Boom.
Beer is
Don't look at my
delicious. Don't deny me beer.
Don't look at my room.
I did play a game. So since you were giving me shit about
are you
it,
kidding me? I didn't even look on the spreadsheet to see.
No, I did. I literally bought a game last night to play with some friends of mine because my buddy Dave, who you've met, gets scared shitless when we play horror games. Like he screams incessantly. It's hysterical.
I can totally picture that.
So we bought a game. It was $4 on Steam called Devour, Burn Her Together or something like that. And you are part of a cult where the head of the cult is trying to raise a demon or something, and you go to stop her. And in order to do it, you have to find these goats and burn them.
Was that a goat being burned in a wok?
Yes. Yeah. It's part of this ritual you're having to do. And you're having to go around this house and find these goats. And demons are coming up. And it's almost Blair Witch like, this woman, who chases you around the house. This game gets so intense and so hard as you're getting ready to complete the ritual. And it is scary as shit.
Really?
Yeah. The graphics are jank. I think only 2 guys made the whole game. It's dead simple. It is a ton of fun. And if you like playing scary games with friends, like hearing them scream, get Devour. I think it's on sale right now, so it was $4, but typically it's like $6. It's super cheap.
That looks cool.
I've only played it for an hour so far, but I'm looking forward to do it again. Fun as hell. So nice job to the developers. It's a damn good game.
It makes me wish I haven't played a game in so long. I need a video game.
This is where the scary stuff is for me now, because movies don't scare me all that often.
Right.
So now it's in video games. When there's a really scary video game, that shit makes me jump still.
Because you're in the game. Like movie, you're too easily going, yeah, I have my phone. Oh, look over there.
VR games in particular, God
Yeah.
damn, do they scare the shit out of you.
Sheridan suggesting Frogger. That is terrifying. If you're scared of traffic, that's a rough game. All right. Are we done?
Done.
Did we make it through? All right. Let's go talk about In the Ass Earth.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Now, Jack isn't here. Who is going to synopsize this movie? Take your time, think about it, confer amongst yourselves.
You know what?
You're going to do it?
I don't care. I don't care.
Yes. It's been a long time since you've done this.
Well, it's a weird one, too, because I spent the first half of the movie just saying, what is going on?
Yes.
Two people venture into the woods looking for a scientist who disappeared months ago. It's in the middle of some kind of a pandemic going on. It's not COVID, but it's something else. So people are being tested before he goes into the woods, which, okay. And they have, it's a very far walk to go to wherever this site is supposed to be to find this woman. And they have to camp. Is it like 2 or 3 times, like 2 or 3 different nights? So it is a far ass walk.
It wouldn't have been as far if they had not run into trouble.
So in one of the nights, they get beaten unconscious in their tents and somebody steals their shoes. And then they are continuing to walk. The main guy, Martin, I think is his name, cuts his foot. And then they run into a stranger who offers them shoes to help them on their way. And I will say no more until we get into spoilers. But I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, no, this is a hard movie to describe without spoiling, too.
All the story is in the last half, and that's kind of what I don't want to spoil.
It's a very WTF experience. So, Tim, I thought that this movie would tickle all your ivories.
It tickled my pickle quite a bit.
Oh, we haven't done a pickle in so long.
Gotta bring the pickle back. Yeah.
Now it's summertime. Pickles for picnics, baby.
No, I mean this is a Ben Wheatley movie. So if you've ever seen a Ben Wheatley movie, you kind of know what you're gonna get. It had like a Field of England vibes going on. You know, people like lost out in the wilderness and some trippy shits going on. It kind of like. It's hard to describe exactly what this movie is. It reminded me a little bit of Annihilation, like a little bit. Kind of had that same type of vibe to it, a little bit.
A little bit.
But overall, like I didn't not like the movie. I didn't love the movie. I thought it fell somewhere in between for me. I love the trippiness aspect of it, and I like a lot of the plot points, like the major things that happen in this movie. I thought was really cool. Couple of like shocking scenes, which we'll get to in spoilers. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. I mean, one of the main complaints, and I know Jason, I saw you tweet something about it. The main character was like very willing to do some extreme things to
he seemed to be an idiot.
You could tell him to do anything and he would do it.
It was strange for like a character, but I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, listen, most of the people in that situation probably wouldn't do that, but
I think his character was socially stunted, to say the least. I think before the pandemic, the lockdown. Yeah, I don't think the lockdown helped him.
No.
Yeah, I have to say one thing to spoilers, but yeah, like something happens to him, and then it happens again, and he does the same thing again. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It was an interesting choice, but I thought the acting was pretty good. I thought, the visuals were really cool, especially there's like a scene that happens like when the main girl like goes into like the I guess it's just like tall grass and like some trippy stuff happening.
Fog.
Yeah, like I love that stuff. And then like you're right, like the third act of the movie is like where kind of like the movie almost like really starts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's such a weird movie. It falls somewhere in between being I liked it and it was okay for me.
What about you, Jason?
This is a weird one for me because I love Lost in the Woods movies with people. I don't know why. It's just something, maybe because I grew up in the woods so much, but I don't know. It's always such a cool thing because anytime two people go out and they get lost in the movie, you never know what it's going to be. It might be a goddamn predator. It might be Bigfoot. It might be a serial killer. It's just, there's so many different possibilities. And I don't know. Those things always get me. It's my favorite kind of found footage thing. Two idiots out in the woods, like running around with night vision. So the beginning I was very interested in, except I didn't know what the fuck was going on. The first half an hour, I'm like, where are they going? What are they doing? Why are they doing it?
Plus, not to mention, I don't know, I had trouble with some of their accents.
Yes.
Like there was a little bit of mumblecore going on. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they're saying.
That's why you watch it with subtitles on, always.
I probably should have, because the beginning, I was just, what?
Dude, I watch all movies in subtitles now. I just do it.
Maybe I should.
No.
I think get in the way though. If I can understand you, I should have turned it on though for this one.
Yeah,
I just don't want to admit defeat. I'm like, they're speaking English. I can figure this out.
I didn't actually have any problem with it, which is weird. I don't know. I guess I have like a good ear for like.
It felt mumbly at the beginning, yeah. So anyway, I was into it. I was into it 2/3 of the way in. It's just that last act is. There's a lot of it I like, and there's a lot of it I don't like. A lot of it being because of character stuff, like decisions that are being made. Mm-hmm. And just the ending really didn't do it for me. So it was like a slow decline until the end. So do I like it or not? I guess it's hard to recommend something when I leave the viewing experience just like, oh, that was it. That was the end.
This is why we do the show, because in spoilers, I'm going to mansplain it to you, and then you're going to understand it.
Oh, okay.
And you're going to have a totally different understanding and appreciation for the movie.
Oh, well, I'm very much looking forward to that.
So
I do want to say, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, this is a pandemic movie. It was shot in like 15 days in the middle of the pandemic. So I actually have a feeling that might be why the characters at the beginning were wearing masks when they were testing him.
Yeah.
That might have been restrictions for shooting. I don't know.
Right.
And then, they shot it in 2 weeks. So it has to be graded a little bit on a scale too, for what they were able to pull off in the middle of all this.
Well, I was kind of prepared. So I tripped balls on psilocybin for 3 days, and then I said, "Let me turn this thing on." No, I didn't. I should have. If you've never done mushrooms, I would assume this is like akin to doing mushrooms.
Have you seen a field in England?
No.
That's literally what the movie's about. They take mushrooms and just fucking trip out during like one of the wars that took place in England.
Oh God.
It's actually great.
Is it just them like visually like on their trip?
It reminded me a lot of this movie to be honest with you. But yeah, it's kind of just like them just tripping out visually. Right. Yeah, it's a fun movie to watch.
Wheatley likes his shrooms, huh?
Yeah, he loves it, dude.
Well, first of all, I thought this movie looks really nice. The way he shot everything around, just fucking pro stuff right there.
Very talented director.
I did laugh at the fact that, first of all, remember when I said how many quarantine movies can we take before we're done? Mm-hmm. So here's one. But I'm not done because I actually enjoyed this. I love the intrigue in the beginning of the movie. I don't know where they're going and what they're doing, but I'm here for the ride. I was like totally enthralled by the ride. And even the third act, when that gets so crazy, I don't know, man. I just rode into it. I rode that dragon right to the very end. I did laugh at the beginning when there's a pandemic, and he's brought into this kind of station, this house in the middle of nowhere, and they check him for all the stuff, but he doesn't have his mask on when he walks in there. I'm like, wouldn't you check him first? Say, dude, put the mask on. Then we're going to check you for everything. So that was a weird. I'm like, what kind of pandemic is this?
Ringworm.
I think I fell. Yeah, a lot of ringworm. I think I fell in love with Alma. I definitely fell in love with Alma. There was something about it was so nice to see a strong female lead because this guy was he's a huge dude and he was such a useless baby, Martin.
Yeah.
You could have retitled this movie, Let's Do Something to Martin's Foot. And if you put like some Benny Hill music every now and then, this movie would have been a fucking scream.
And he was pretty much okay with all of it.
Yeah.
And he's an idiot.
We got to do this. He'd be like, oh, really? Are you sure? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, well, he's a total idiot. Alma is fucking 5 feet tall and 90 pounds. And she's hucking this pack and walking for days. And he's got to taking a breather. I'm like, please, just please, Martin. But there's an arc for him too, so he's not just totally useless for the whole thing. But I liked it from beginning to end. More like I was like, normally I don't like ambiguous, fucking just show me stuff. But something about this movie I really dug. So I give it a thumbs up.
So you liked it more as it went on.
I give it a solid dill pickle, like one of the hard ones.
This is so weird. Like we all have like kind of different opinions on it.
Yeah,
strange.
3 different stages of pickleization.
I think I was just so sick of Martin being okay with everything by the end that I'm like, for fuck's sake. Like,
can we just talk about the foot?
Well, by the way, yeah, this is the part where you go, this just happened to you. Why would you allow this again, dude? Why?
We're going to have to get into spoilers just to talk about it.
Yeah, let's just talk about spoilers.
I don't have a bell.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, 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 spoilers.
Yeah, like he was like, so the guy's about ready to chop off his foot. Or at least some of his toes.
It's toes because, you know,
and
he's like, Martin never even lifts his foot up to see.
He's like, I really don't think you should do that. Was like, I think his response.
It was very British. I don't think you should do that, old chap.
Yeah, I think I should go to the hospital. I think that's a better choice. And like, he's just like trying to rationalize it. And the guy's like, no, we need to take your toes off. Like it's gonna happen. And then like he gives it like 3 whacks and misses, right? Like he misses. Like
he's doing it on purpose.
He's doing it on purpose just to freak him out.
Yeah, but like at that point, wouldn't you just be like, yeah, I'm taking my foot back from this guy? Like get the foot away from
He didn't tie his foot to that block either. He was just like, hold it there. Like, how about fuck you?
He willingly went along with it at that point.
Yeah. I mean, he was going to lose those toes no matter what, but he made it way too easy.
I didn't understand this. So the infection is in the bottom of his foot where the cut is, right? So
right. He wants to cut off his toes.
What's cutting off the toes going to do?
I think, well, it's probably just to hobble him. Or maybe he was offering the toes to the...
Well, yeah, so it turned out it was to hobble him, for sure.
Yeah.
But, the fact that he kept his foot there, I'm like, what? If you're cutting off my toes, you are fighting for it. Like, I'm going to make you work for that shit.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that thing that rock that they pulled out of his foot and that gash in the bottom of his foot, I was like, oh, I felt that so much.
So what cut his foot? Was it the rock that was planted in the ground at the very beginning of the movie?
Yes. And I was thinking, what are the odds? I'm hoping there's lots of those rocks everywhere, and Alma just happened to miss the others because the odds of that are happening. Although this whole movie is about destiny and the calling. So maybe there was no way he was going to miss it anyway.
Called to the rock.
Like a rock.
So this is the part that really started to throw me is they escape. They run 100 yards over a hill to the woman's camp. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, cool. We're safe here. Yeah, let's have some tea and eat some food she's giving us. Fucking what? Like, you were just poisoned by the other guy who you happened to run into. The first person you meet, you instantly start eating and drinking again. Completely unconcerned that this might be a crazy person.
Because that's his ex-girlfriend.
She's living a stone's throw from this dude.
But she didn't she have like more credibility? Like, wasn't she like?
Well, she was the scientist that.
Yeah, she was who they were looking for.
She was who they were looking for. They used to date.
He's living right there.
Alma brought that up at one point.
She did.
You realize she's just right over there.
Who's right there? Why is he not coming over here? And I'm like, yes, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
He was chasing you and he just stopped because you ran into this camp with one woman in it.
Maybe he was afraid of the noises. Which, by the way, if if you're subject to epileptic seizures, you cannot watch this movie.
Oh,
No.
totally, no.
No.
I mean, you can't. My neighbor asked me what was going on the next day because it was just in the alley between the two houses. It was just flickering like mad for like 10 minutes.
Oh God! So then,
You should
then
have
the
told me you were having a rave or something.
I did say we had a disco going.
you should just stand in front of your windows with lights, just swirling them around sometime with glow sticks. So then the next foot thing is when she's going to cauterize his toes.
You got to, man. Like I don't have a problem with that. Like at that point, they were looking pretty rough. So
You know what? I'd have been like, no, I'm going to the hospital. Fuck all of you.
Cauterizing is too late at that point. I'm thinking.
Where is
The
this
infection's
hospital,
there.
by the way?
Oh, it's 30 miles away.
Yeah,
He's
this
not
feels
getting
like
to the
30 miles.
hospital.
I love how the hospital plays a part later in the movie in the third act. That's so great.
I know, that was a funny line.
That was my favorite part of the entire movie.
And for being a wuss, Martin had incredible pain tolerance.
Oh yeah.
He never screams when his toes get cut off. He never
did
screams.
pass out of the cauterization.
He did
went
pass
face
out at
down.
that. But like that gash on his foot from the rock, that wasn't like a little cut. The skin was flapped over.
Oh, and when he stitched it, it looked like bootlaces from Timberlands.
Oh, that was the worst I've ever seen.
I was like, shit. He was howling in pain. That was the most pain he had was with the stitching.
Oh
He
man.
was losing it.
Ugh.
So yeah, he's a very trusting man, particularly at the end when she's like, okay, you need to drink this mushroom soup and go sit at a rock. He's like, okay, I'll do it.
That thought maybe it was just to dull the pain. I would have done it.
How about no? Like you go do it.
Well, here's what I love because they foreshadowed this early when him and Alma are talking about the pandemic, and he's talking about how this is going to have a lasting effect on all of society. She goes, "No, they'll just forget it." And he says, "No." She goes, "No, trust me. They'll get on with their lives and they'll forget it." So there are two types of people because the pandemic seems to have made him weaker and worse, and she is just a survivor. So when they do this whole crazy fucking trippy shit at the Rock, she has the experience, as does his girlfriend, the scientist. The scientist, they see into the heart of nature, which is the heart of everything. And the scientist is fucking blown away and cannot recover and is just laying there in a fucking field. Where this one has a moment of whoa, and all right, we got to get going. Time to go. Yeah. So that experience was parallel with the pandemic and the way people react to looking into whatever the abyss is, which I thought was really cool. I could be totally wrong too, like when I dissected Mother, but whatever. That's how I took it, and that's how I feel it is.
I have no idea. There was one other thing he agreed to do that I was like, stop. Oh, when she's like, don't go in this one tent. Why? Just don't do it. Like, no, I was just tortured over there. I'm looking in your goddamn tent.
Well, that tent was sanitized.
Yeah. It's a tent,
as if
lady.
anything could be sanitary out there in the fucking woods.
They were just like, no, I'm not going to go in there and look. Oh,
nope.
Okay.
Sounds good. I was fine with it, though. The woman who played the scientist, Tim, she was in that violence movie that you saw.
Was she the cop?
Haley Squires. I don't know. I didn't see that movie, but I saw that she's in that.
I'm trying to think of who she played in. I didn't even. I watched these movies like literally back to back, and I didn't even recognize that was the same person.
Well, she looked. I think they tried to make her look older in this movie too. They're giving her streaks of gray, and she was, a little dirty from being out there. By the way, how much did you love her ex-husband? He was nuts.
Crazy guy.
Yeah. That man had managed to make a mansion out of tents. They just kept going into more rooms.
Tents and tarps or whatever plastic he found laying around.
That guy was amazing.
I just love when he drugs him and just pulls out that guitar. You know you're fucked when the crazy guy's pulling out the guitar. It's gonna sing you a lullaby.
Yeah, he sewed shit into your arm, drugged you, tied you up, and now he's playing a song. Yeah, I actually thought that guy did a really good job because for a while you didn't know if he was actually still trying to help them because there was something crazy going on,
Right.
or if he was just a psycho. And the toe scene really hammered home this dude is a piece of shit.
Yeah. I actually, even when he was doing the stuff with them with the pictures, I was thinking maybe it's to help them get out.
Maybe there's something going on here. Yeah.
Right.
But now, once he's like fucking with them about cutting his toes off, I'm like, wow, okay, that's pretty bad.
Yep.
What did you guys think about the ending?
I liked the ending. I thought I liked the ambiguity of it.
I dug it. I thought it was so weird.
What happened?
That stone, it's kind of like, think of like a ley line, like almost like a Stonehenge. Like this is like a central point where you can access the earth itself. And so that with the combination of the lights and the sound, that just hit the right frequency where they were just plugged right into the essence of everything around us, I think. Sounds good, right?
Sure. But
it's kind of overwhelming. It'd be like watching all of us get changed in the morning. Might be overwhelming for some, titillating for others.
But so I thought part of the ritual that the scientist woman was having them do, they had to kill Martin so that they could talk to it. Right. And I thought she did, but then it turned out at the very end she didn't, and he was okay. Right. And then Alma was like, "You want me to show you how to get out of here?" And I didn't understand what that meant.
I think her act, because I don't think the scientists, they had gone over the end. They went over the edge a bit. So they didn't have it all right. And I think Alma not doing that, displaying some sort of love. This is like all connected with human emotion and nature and stuff like that. So I think some sort of love or empathy or whatever is what opened the gate in the middle of all this madness. I think.
I literally had no idea at the end. I was like, what happened? Tim, what did you think happened?
I don't fucking know, man.
Tim had one too many beers. That's what happened.
Exactly. I'm just listening to all this.
Is this blowing your mind?
Yeah, I didn't really formulate an opinion. I just kind of just watching it, and I
didn't formulate an opinion. We do a show where we give our opinions.
I know. I just felt like it was just super ambiguous, and like there was no explanation. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really know.
It sounds like he's fucking tripping himself. I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Are you like checking your email or something while we're talking about this?
No, it's like wild, man.
I don't. I honestly have no idea what the ending meant, which is
like lights.
Well,
shit, man.
To be fair, when it ended, I had absolutely no clue what happened.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know. I don't know what the meaning of it is.
Like I was trying to look up to see what people thought, and I got no answers. I do not understand what happened at the end of the movie. Well, I don't mind if an ending's ambiguous as long as you give me like two options. Like The Thing, or like I can pick a direction and go this way. I literally did not know what happened in any direction.
So Ben Wheatley, you have an open invitation to come on Final Guys anytime you want, and you're gonna tell them how right I am.
Maybe you are right. It could be that I'm stupid. I don't know.
I don't know. For some reason, I was so locked into this. It was, you know what helped? I forgot. I watched this Saturday night. I was sunstroked from work. And I had an out-of-body experience just driving home. Like, I didn't even know how I got home. I was so empty from everything, from just the heat.
That's kind of an interesting watch for this.
Yeah, and then I turned, like, when I was laying down, like, I was just drinking, not alcohol either, just Gatorade and water, anything, and just trying to rehydrate myself in this weird zone. I thought I would fall asleep, and I couldn't. I was fucking glued to this movie. So maybe I was kind of tripping in a way. I was tripping from lack of electrolytes.
Yeah. Honestly, like I said, I was really into this, and then this dude's character just doing dumb shit after dumb shit after dumb shit was really bothering me. And then the ending, I didn't understand what happened. So those are really the two things that weighed it down for me. Otherwise, I was really enjoying it.
Right. I wonder if this is a critique on the people who seem to be forever be afraid, the forever maskers. I wonder if literally that's what Ben Wheatley was trying to do with this guy, saying this guy's a fucking idiot because I don't know.
I don't either. He just kept saying yes to everything.
Tim, we're not going to ask you. Don't worry, you're fine.
Don't worry about it.
I like, man. I don't know.
This movie was just like so weird, and the end was weird. I can't even like break it down. Really, it's just.
I know pickles, like lots of pickles, man.
The kaleidoscope stuff they were doing was pretty cool.
Oh man, it was awesome.
And I liked when it looked like Alma was just reaching her point where she's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. The spores kind of fogged them in. I thought that was really cool. And it was closing in on them. And then I just didn't understand after that what happened. But the eye thing, that's what you want to talk about, Tim, the eye thing.
Oh, the eye thing is my favorite part. Yeah, when what's the character's name? Zach? Was it Zach?
The crazy ex-husband?
Yes, gets it in the
right.
eye. Oh my god! And like he's trying to like pull it out, and he's like, "Nope, I need a hospital."
Yeah, that was great.
It was like my favorite line after all the shit that he did to poor Martin with the foot. He gets like, what was it, an arrow or something in the eye?
It was a tent
pole.
Oh, a tent pole, yeah,
a stake.
A stake. Yeah, he gets the stake in the eye, and he's like, no, I can do it. I can pull it out. And he's like trying to pull it out, and he's like, nope, I need a hospital. And then she just jams it further into his skull. Oh my god, that was so awesome.
Yeah, but it was a weird comedic moment in a movie that had no comedy. I was like, this is like slapstick, right?
I fucking loved it though. It worked. It worked so well.
I did too, because it was jarring. At that point, anything goes, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and just this guy who just tortured these people. The moment he gets hurt, he's like, I need to go to the hospital.
By the way, he shot a pretty mean arrow when he was all
he sucked, dude. He missed them like 1,000 times.
He was getting way closer than he should have. I mean,
I'm thinking somebody who lives in Jersey hasn't shot a bow and arrow all that often.
No, I mean,
it's hard as shit.
No, it's super hard as shit to do.
To get
someone's doing the zigzag pattern.
I have shot a bow and arrow, but like he wasn't like.
Wait, did it have a suction cup on the end?
Didn't have a suction cup. Okay. It was in Boy Scouts. Okay.
Oh, all right. Do you want to talk about that later with the doll?
No. No. But I did know a guy who used to go hunting only with a bow and arrow. He refused to like shoot a gun. And he would only hunt with the bow and arrow because he felt that was like more fair to the animal, which I thought was like a cool.
My nephew did that too. Never brought home anything,
and it wasn't like and like he wouldn't shoot like one of those automatic bow and arrows. It was like an actual like he made this bow and arrow. Like it was crazy.
Oh, he didn't use a compound bow. He used like a long bow.
Like a legit. He made it himself. Like and shot it. Yeah.
Was he Nick Cage?
No, I don't know, but he was like a hunt. Like I guess he like I don't know. This guy was nuts. He like lived in the woods or something for like 2 years, and like he would just hunt straight with a bow and arrow. And he was like, he's like, guns aren't fair to animals. This is getting way off topic, by the way.
I agree. I throw dynamite at them.
Yeah.
Is this guy still alive?
I don't know. I worked with him briefly at an old job, and he was like the craziest guy I've ever met in my life.
He's eating elk jerky right as we speak. He's fine.
Yeah.
I think he's taking a very long turd nap right now.
Probably dead. Yeah.
Killed by his own bow and arrow.
But yeah, I don't know why that the bow and arrow in this movie kind of like reminded me of that.
Okay. All right.
One more thing that your bow and arrow thing reminded me of that I thought was really good foreshadowing and showed how much of a piece of shit this Zach guy was or what he was going to do to them. Before the toe scene, I think, were they unconscious again? Anyway, he takes a pair of shoes and cuts the toe out.
Oh, yeah.
And it's before he does the whole torture scene. So that was because I was watching. I'm like, why the hell is he doing that?
Premeditated.
And then like a couple of minutes later, you see what he does, and it's like, oh, you piece of shit, you planned this whole thing out. So I thought that was super well done.
Like there's a lot of good stuff to be said. Look, this movie is not for the casual. Oh, I kind of like horror. No. Try this. No, you got to be into it.
Yeah, and I feel like I spent most of my time talking about the things I didn't like, but there's cool stuff in this. It's just, the two things that I didn't like, I really drug me down.
Right.
But
I think it needs like repeat viewings to kind of fully understand it. Like I would like to go back again and just like see everything that happened and maybe actually have an opinion of what happened at the end.
I should see what happens if I watch it hydrated. Might be totally different. I fucking hate this movie. I have all my senses. My heart's not beating out of my chest.
Yeah, you might be onto something, Tim. If I understood the ending even slightly, maybe I'd like it quite a bit more. I don't know.
But I like movies like that. I like that movies that kind of that plant seeds throughout, and you don't catch them right away the first time watching it, and it kind of forces you to go back and re-examine everything. So I think this is kind of like one of those movies that, like, I'm sure if we watched it again, we would have a better understanding of it and maybe appreciate it more.
Right.
The Zach character does say that he is worshiping it, and she is trying to, what do you say, study it or talk with it or something like that. And he says that very early on, and you're like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Yeah.
So that does kind of bear out later. I thought that was pretty good too.
Yeah.
It's a lot of mystery in them there woods.
And it is impressive for a 15-day shoot. That's
totally. Yeah.
That's awesome. So
crazy.
Props on that.
Give me 15 days and I'm going to make fucking Bigfoot versus aliens.
Amityville Bigfoot.
I'd watch that.
Holy shit, that would be awesome. All right. So next week, would you guys be interested in going purging? You want to try the purge? I don't know if it's available on VOD for you shut-ins.
I don't know.
Try.
Jason, I remember when you were ballsy. You were going to the movie theater early in the pandemic when everyone else was scared, and you're like, "Hey, here we are, just the two of us." And now you're all,
It has nothing to do with the pandemic. It's just
Backed up.
It's a time thing. Is it supposed to be good? Because I don't want to pay.
I don't know.
$30.
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm
not reading reviews. That's why.
Let's talk about it. Maybe
we'll talk about it.
Did you get there, Tim?
I don't know, man. My schedule's crazy. I don't know.
It is 4th of July weekend.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, buddy.
But there is at some time we should do Black Summer season 2. It's so
yes, you're
so
right.
good.
We could do that or Sound of Violence.
Or Sound of Violence.
Jack's gonna say Black Summer because he's watched it. I'm gonna put the vote in for Jack. You finished it, right?
I have one more episode left and I'm done.
All right.
Is it long?
Yes, 8 episodes, 7 episodes.
But they're not. They're less than. They're half.
They're
hour
like
good
40
enough.
minutes. One was 30 some minutes.
The first season, I felt like the episodes were super short. And it was
some of them were like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not super long like most Netflix shows where they're an hour.
I don't even remember the first season. Do you need to know?
I didn't either. I recognized 2 characters at the beginning. I looked up 2 of the other characters because I was like, should I know who they are? And
right.
No, most of it doesn't matter.
Yeah, zombies. Let's do that. Black Summer. How about that? Part 2.
Oh, sure.
The Deuce.
You guys can fit it in, yeah.
Zombie Deuce.
I mean, I could fit it in. I could watch that at work.
I'll do it. I got a week.
Boom.
All right, there we go. Black Summer 2 next week. And if you want to watch The Purge, come see if you want to come by my house and we'll go watch it together.
That's
not very poorly for you.
Don't reach deep into the popcorn bucket.
That's not an enticement.
If he hands you anything with mushrooms in it, don't drink it.
Don't you drink it, but we're going to go out drinking afterwards, and you'll never remember what happened. All right, everybody. From Final Guys to your ear holes. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.